If you ever fall or get pushed down from the platform onto the rails at a subway station, try to roll under the platform. Many stations have space there for exactly that reason. What knowledge might save your life one day? If a rhino is running towards you, wait until the last second then sidestep out of the way. Rhinos cannot make sudden turns and will give you a couple seconds head start to run in the other direction. Repeat as necessary. If you drive, after being up for more than 17 hours, the level of your impairment is equal to legally being drunk. Never drive while sleepy. If you are ever bitten by a dog, bat, raccoon, fox, or skunk, go directly to the hospital. There is no cure for rabies once it is fully onset. EMT here. If you are ever choking on food in a public venue, do not go to the restroom to avoid causing a scene. Almost every death I've seen from people choking are found unconscious in a bathroom stall because they were too polite to seek help. Be smart. If you're a pedestrian and crossing a street and you can see the sun's reflection on the windshield of someone's car, there's a good chance the driver cannot see you. If you ever are kayaking and become pinned upside down underwater, swim down deeper into the water to escape the kayak. You may not be able to flip it over. When you go into a building, look for an exit that is not the one you used to come in. In an emergency, most people will head out their original exit, but you will head out of the exit less traveled, and it may make all the difference. If you're ever charged by a moose, get behind a tree. They have about a 10-inch blind spot, and they'll lose you. If you fall into cold open water, resist the urge to swim and try to float until the onset of panic subsides. Once you have your breathing under control, you can then start to swim to safety. By doing this, you will not hyperventilate and avoid potentially drowning. Never use bleach and ammonia-based cleaning products at the same time while cleaning. A combination of both their vapors creates chloramine vapor, which can kill you if inhaled. Check your cleaning supplies to see what's in them, especially toilet and tile cleaners. If you've been buried alive in a standard coffin, stay calm. If you are alive, you haven't been buried that long. Also, the dirt above you hasn't set yet. Most coffins are not built to last once buried, and as a result have weak siding. So here is what you do. Pull your shirt over your head. You don't want to be swallowing dirt. Position yourself so you are as sideways in the coffin as possible with hands and feet pushing on the long sides. Push. You should be able to blow out one of the walls. Start crawling up. Do not panic. You may not find a grip immediately. Keep going until you make it out. If you have to get through a locked door, don't charge into it with your shoulder. Instead, kick it straight on, next to the door knob. This has a much better chance of breaking the lock. Edit. It's better to mule kick the door next to the lock instead of facing forward while you kick. It's safer for you, and you can apply more force that way. If you call 911, always say where the problem is first, followed by the problem. If you happen to get cut off before you can say what the problem is, at least the dispatcher has a location to send an officer to check it out and advise if more police or fire is needed. Example: operator 911, where is your emergency? You: help, I'm being stabbed. Versus operator 911, where is your emergency? You: 742 Evergreen Terrace, help, I am. As someone who works at 911, I'll just add a bit of additional info. A lot of people assume we magically know where they are when they call 911, and sometimes we do, to an extent. When your phone call comes in, there's two stages your phone call has. We call them a phase 1 and a phase 2. Your phase 1 location will plot your location, where the cell tower is, so if you don't tell us where you are before you disconnect, and we have a phase 1 location, you're forked if you're in an emergency. Sure, we can look up your phone history and see if there's any address associated with your phone number, but if there isn't any, good luck. When we get a phase 2, most of the time it's pretty accurate, sometimes even being directly on top of where you are. I think the phase 2 location is based off of multiple cell tower hits that triangulate your location, but don't quote me on that. I'm actually not sure. If we get an open line phone call, as in, no one is talking, we hear stuff going on in the background, we'll get a phase 2 location and send the police out to the area. Sometimes they find the person who called in, sometimes they don't. Always leave your itinerary with someone. If you meet strangers, as in potential bad people, on the road, always let them know that you are in touch with friends and family and that they know exactly where you are. You become less attractive as a victim. Edit. Always let strangers know that you have a destination and are expected at a particular time too. If you are in danger or in need of help in a public place, it's almost always a bad idea to just yell help. It's more important to be specific. Pointing at someone and telling them to call 911 will be more effective. The bystander effect can be a relay sometimes. If someone tries to get into a vehicle you're driving, like at a stoplight or a parking lot, punch the gas. Do not drive to wherever this person is telling you to go. Hit whatever is in front or behind you, unless it's a person. Don't hit a person point but a car, a wall, or anything. Accidents draw people and thereby more witnesses. If your car is going underwater, an electronic roll down button will work regardless of the water pressure outside the car, but a manual handle is much more difficult. You also won't be able to open the door. It's better to have something in the glove box, like an ice scraper, to break the glass with. Mythbusters did a whole thing on it. If someone is trying to abduct you, fight back. Most abductors will just give up if they meet resistance. And whatever you do, don't let them take you to another location. 1 in 20 people will get bowel cancer in their lifetime. You need some sort of screening starting at age 45 to 50 depending on your family history. Any blood in the stool needs to be checked out. Early cancers can be completely cured with keyhole surgery. You don't have to die of bowel cancer. If you have what looks like a small pimple or a spider bite and you see a red line streaking away from that area towards your body, go to an emergency room. You likely have a staph or strep infection that is spreading through your lymphatic system or bloodstream, and your body can go septic at any moment. Sepsis lethality is 40-60%. This happened to me earlier this year and I only knew how serious it was because of a post I read on Reddit years back. If you're alone and start choking with nobody around to give you the Heimlich, you can give yourself the Heimlich by using the back of a chair or similar objects like the sidearm of a couch. Forcefully throw your stomach over the back of the chair a few times. Try to mimic the motion of the Heimlich. Push in above the belly button, then up, kind of like a J motion. That water you're about to dive into might not be as deep as you think. From personal experience, I once dove and smashed my face on the pool floors, breaking my 2 front teeth. Would not recommend. Wear a helmet, wear a seatbelt. It may not be cool, but you're more fragile than you lead yourself to believe. I've lost 3 friends because of these. Don't be a statistic please. There's someone that would miss you and think I just wish they had cared about their safety. If you're spinning out of control while driving, do not stare at a fixed object like a light pole or barrier. Instead, find something clear and free of debris like a ditch or field. You instinctively will steer the car wherever you are focused 60% of the time. Works every time. If your car suddenly accelerates beyond control and the brakes are unresponsive, shift the car into neutral and slowly apply the brakes. This situation happened to a family in CA some years ago. They had no idea what to do and tragically lost their lives. Edit. Corrected stating that you should apply the emergency brake. Many have fairly pointed out that you should not apply the emergency brake as this will cause you to lock up. Maybe not your life, but everyone should have basic first aid / CPR training if possible. My dad collapsed on Saturday morning when he got up to go to the toilet and neither me or my mum know basic first aid or CPR. The ambulance took 8 minutes to arrive and we only live 4 streets away from the depot. Luckily he came to, but there was a point where he stopped breathing. If he continued to not breathe 8 minutes would be too late. Please learn and hope you don't need it instead of needing it and not knowing. If you kill a bee a bunch more will come to that specific area, so it is a good idea to leave from there. Beekeeper here. For honeybees, it's cysting that attracts them. If you get stung, they release a pheromone that tells the other bees to sting the same place. Cover the spot with your hand or rub it with something that has a strong smell. Just not something that smells like banana. The chemical that makes the banana smell is the same as bees' alarm pheromone. If you smell bananas when you're working your bees, you've upset them. Thanks for watching Random Reddit TTS. Be sure to have a wonderful day, you snuggle muffin.